back to Zen Talks, where we decode Zoho Books one question at a time. I'm Deepthi, and today we are talking about something that trips up a lot of businesses when they switch to accounting platforms. Specifically, what happens to those invoices from the previous financial years that haven't been paid yet. And we have Jose with us in the studio. And Jose, thank you for joining us today. So can you please help us set the scene?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's a scenario almost every businesses run into. Okay, by the end of the financial year, there are always some pending customer invoices.
Okay.
So that is like customers who haven't paid yet for sales that were already recorded. Then in the new financial year, those payments start coming. So you have got an invoice from the last year and a payment landing this year.
Okay.
Totally normal, super common in the accounting.
Right. So this invoice and the payment are in two different financial years. Okay, got it. So where does this get complicated?
It gets complicated the moment you migrate to a new platform. For example, like Zoho Books. In migrations, businesses choose not to bring over the invoices like from the previous year. Maybe they're closing the chapter, or it's just not practical to migrate all the historical data. So the invoice is nowhere to be found in the Zoho Books, but the payment from the customer. So how we will deal with that? So that's coming in right now in the current year.
So you have got money coming in, but nothing in the system to match it against. That sounds like a recipe for messy books, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you just record the receipt without handling it properly, Zoho Books will treat it as an advance payment.
Okay.
And that creates reporting issues down the line. For example, customer balances looks wrong, your accounts receivable is off, it's a mess.
Okay, so we definitely don't want that. So what's the right way to handle it?
The solution is the opening balance method. The idea is pretty much simple. Even though we didn't migrate the actual invoice, we can bring the outstanding amount into the Zoho Books as an opening balance. So think of it as a placeholder. It tells the system, hey, this customer owes us money from the before we moved here. Once that's in place, we can properly apply the incoming payment against it.
So it's like creating a ghost of original invoice, just enough information for the system to recognize the outstanding amount, right?
That's a great way to put in. It acts like a pending invoice inside the Zoho Books itself, even though the actual invoice was never migrated.
Okay, so let's get into the actual how-to part. And can you please walk us through what this looks inside Zoho Books?
Yeah, sure. So you start by going to the settings, and from there click on the opening balance. You will be presented with a different account categories to choose from.
Okay.
Select the accounts receivable from there. This is where all your customer side outstanding amounts be live. Now you have to import your balances. You'll have to prepare an Excel file for that. The file needs just a few fields like the customer name, the date, and the amount outstanding, like that.
So you are basically creating a structured list of everything you are owed from before the migration.
Yeah, precisely actually. Once you upload the file and map the fields correctly, Zoho Books pulls all of that into just one place. One import and all your customer receivables are in the system. It is clean and it is efficient.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so the opening balance is in. Now the payment arrives from a customer. So what do we do next?
This part is pretty much straightforward. You have to go to the sales, select the customers, and open a specific customer profile. You will see a button there like the new transaction. That is a customer payment. Click on that. And then the magic moment happens. You will see the opening balance we just imported showing up as a customer opening balance. Enter the payment amount and click the save as paid. It's done.
Okay, that really is elegant. So the opening balance acts like the invoice and the payment settles against it perfectly.
Exactly right. The payment is properly adjusted. The customer's outstanding balance drops to zero or even reduces accordingly. And your reports reflect accurate numbers. So it's the correct way to handle this in the Zoho Books.
Okay, so Jose, before we wrap up, what's one mistake people make you really want them to avoid?
Yeah, the biggest mistake that I think is recording the payment directly without setting up the opening balance first. It seems like a shortcut, okay, but Zoho Books has no invoice or like no outstanding linked to it. So it tags the payment as an advance, and the advances sitting against the customer accounts with no matching document create all sorts of reporting headaches.
Okay.
Your receivables look inflated, aging reports are wrong. It's not just clean now.
So, from my understanding, it's like always set up the opening balances first, even if it feels like a little extra step, but it's like protecting the integrity of your data, right?
Couldn't say it better. A few minutes of setup saves hours of reconciliation later.
Okay, Joe. So, let's do a quick recap before we close out. What's the key takeaway for someone, dealing with this kind of scenario?
Okay, three things to remember. Okay, one, if you haven't migrated previous year's invoices, you need to capture the outstanding as an opening balance in the account receivables. Okay, two, use the import feature in the settings to bring in all the outstanding balances at once using an Excel file. Okay, three, when the payment arrives, go through the received payment in the customer profile and apply it against that opening balance. That's the complete and the correct flow.
So simple when you know it, but so easy to get wrong without the right guidance. So this has been incredibly helpful, Jose. Thank you so much for breaking it down for us.
My pleasure. And to everyone listening, if you are planning to migration to Zoho Books, just remember, opening balances are your best friend for a clean start.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. And remember, migration like these might sound straightforward, but the details matter. And getting them wrong can cost you a lot because complex tasks need real expertise. And that's why if you're planning to move to Zoho Books and want it done the right way, reach out to Zentegra today. And if you feel this episode is helpful, share it with someone going through a migration process. And we'll see you in the next time.